Welcome to Rick's Corner. Today I have a parent of one of my students, a 12-year-old boy named Anthony, and Dad's name is Michael DiGregorio, right?
That is correct.
I got that right, didn't I?
You got it. You're one of the few.
I know. I was going to say Michael Gregory because I know you go by that, but then you'll be the other Michael Gregory that we both know.
Exactly.
I have a question, and a lot of kids write to me, and they want to become wrestlers, and they haven't talked to their parents yet, and they send me all these emails from all over the world saying they're going to come here, and they're going to move here, and they're going to become the next WWE superstar, and they're 12 years old. Well, we both know that if they're under the age of 18, they're not going to move here on their own and become a superstar.
Correct.
Now, when your son came to you and he said he wanted to be a wrestler, what was your first thought?
Well, there was a hesitation and investigation on my part to make sure that it was the correct thing at his age, and I understood nothing about wrestling. And the only thing I knew was what I saw on television, the shows that I saw on television, and I thought they actually get hurt and they break things, and so as a parent, I'm worried that maybe something might happen. Is that the direction I want him to go? His mother was against it, and it took a while. Actually, not too long. When he started with you here, I had a completely different vision. I had a completely different. Well, first I had a completely different respect.
Thank you.
For the art, for the art of which I never referred to it as art. Yeah, and
but it is an art.
It's an art. It's a
dance.
It's an absolute incredible expansion of not only my son's physical but mental attitude, and an increase in fortitude, in self-confidence.
Yes, definitely self-confidence.
His schoolwork has gotten better because of this, because he's learning a discipline,
right?
And he's learning how to move. I see his actual physical movements to be more honorable as far as a human being. Where when he first started, he couldn't even roll over. I remember.
That's true. But by the way, that noise you hear out there in the background is his son being beat up by a 6'5" wrestler, and he's okay with it. It's okay. It's the discipline part.
And I'm honored.
Well, it's a struggle, and every kid wants to be a superstar, and they have to look in the mirror and see if they have what it takes. And at 12, 13, 14 years old, you haven't grown into manhood, so you don't know what it takes. I mean, these guys are big, muscular guys, and that's the way it is. When I started, the wrestlers were big, fat men. That was the look back then, and that scared the hell out of me. Yeah, having them beat me up and throw me around. And back then, it was a little different thing because they really did beat you up. Right. And you had to prove yourself.
That's what I understood.
Yeah.
As the audience, that's what, as a layman, that's
right.
What I thought.
Well, even now, and you say that people they don't get hurt. They do get hurt. I mean, I saw an interview with Edge, and they said it's fake. He says, well, if it's fake, then how come I'm in the hospital all the time with all these injuries? Right. And it's true because there's a lot of body contact, like football, like basketball, where elbows or knees are flying and things happen and people get hurt. The other thing in this business, which he hasn't learned yet, and he will as time goes on, there's a tremendous amount of ego. Just like among actors, among bodybuilders, and among wrestlers. And
I see that.
And as an actor yourself, when you go out on auditions, the egos are really up there. It's absolutely. Look what I did, and look what I can get, and look what I can do. In the meantime, nobody's working. Yeah. It's true. So the thing with the egos in wrestling is that when you do a show, and especially on the independent circuit, everybody wants to be the superstar. And so everybody wants to look good in the ring, and they all want to do everything they can do, and they don't care what you can do. You're going to make them look good. You're the guy that's going to get beat up for them, which is not the case. It's a give-and-take situation. Sure. And that's what we're teaching your son, is the fact that you learn to give, and you learn to take, and you learn to respect. Exactly. And what you respect in the ring, you respect outside of the ring. And if you don't do your homework and respect your parents, then you don't come here.
Well, let's just say this, from my opinion, we could have gone to 100 different guys that could have tried to teach him how to wrestle. Yeah. And he could have learned the wrong way. That's true. And those are the things that I was afraid of. And I know after being here and watching him every time I come, and you were right to make it twice a week, is more beneficial. But I see that he's being taught the correct manner, and I feel completely safe with him here. I feel I can turn my back, I can walk away, I can go run an errand, and I know don't have any qualms, any worries. And also, I don't see any bad apples. Everybody is very nice here.
Well, when you leave, that's when we really beat him up. We tortured him the day while you were out doing your errands. We actually taught him how to do a forward bump better.
Okay.
And he actually picked up a drop kick today, which is hard for everybody, and he did it perfect the first time.
Oh, wow.
First time out, which was really unusual because, you know, some things he can't do and some things he can. And that's one of the hardest things, and he did it. And I was really proud of him because he really put his effort into it, and he's really starting to understand and get it. This is not a business that you pick up overnight.
Right.
It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort. I'm working this week, as I told you, for the next 3 weeks on the series Cold Case, and I'm teaching 2 actors how to wrestle because they have 3 different events they have to do on the show. And I have to start with basics. I don't know what they can do. I haven't met them yet, but I'm going to teach them basics into something, and they want this big, powerful move at the end of the show. I don't know if they can do it. So we're going to have to come up with something that they can do, just like with Anthony. We come up with things that fit his personality and fit his physique and his ability.
I'm amazed at what I see. I'm just amazed to see how he started, and this is what, his ninth lesson?
Is it?
I think it's the 9th or 10th lesson. It's only been a couple of months.
Well, with these fingers, I can only count to 9. I mean, I get there and I'm at 9.5, so I lost track.
In 2 months, he's turned around to do things I never imagined he'd be able to do. And the funny thing is, if I can just tell you this one last thing, is his mother, who was completely against wrestling, now she's the one writing the checks to you. She's the one that's are you going to go to wrestling? I think because she was worried about the danger of it, of what she thought might be dangerous for her child.
Well, all mothers are like that. My father passed away when I was 18. I got into wrestling when I was 20. And I had to deal with my mother and my grandmother, who thought for a nice Jewish boy, you don't become a wrestler. They wanted me to be a rabbi. Can you imagine that?
You would have been a good rabbi.
Yeah, I have my own congregation of wrestling fans.
Boy,
so, oy vey, you got hit in the head again. And my grandmother used to come to me and she'd say, "Why do you want to be a wrestler? You get hit in the head all the time, and you get all going cream of sugar." And it did make me a little crazy.
Grow out the beard.
Yeah, it made me a little crazy, but you got to be a little crazy to do this. Yeah. So I'm glad as a parent you respect what we do and you see where it goes. And I think that all of you kids out there watching our YouTubes and watching our videos should understand you need to talk to your parents about this and give them a total understanding and let them watch this and see what a dad's point of view is on his son wrestling, because it's really important to get them behind you. And the other thing I wanted to mention real quick is that at this age now, it's really important to exercise and diet. You know, there's the high protein, low carb, maybe a little weight workout, some aerobics, and get the body in shape for this, because it does take that.
He stopped eating all the stuff that he was doing before. He doesn't want sodas, which I refuse to buy them now.
Right.
But all the other things he used to, cookies and different things, and all the food that he's told me this is what he wants to do, and it's affecting that part of his life too. Of that discipline here is affecting what he wants to eat.
Good. That's how it should be.
So he's doing everything he's supposed to do, and in leaps and bounds, I see something wonderful, a blossoming in my son, and I'm 100% for this. Absolutely, I would absolutely. I think every parent should have their child try this out if that's what they want to do, if that's what they like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you've heard it from a parent, you've heard it from me, and you heard it on Rick's Corner, and I want to thank Michael for being here because he gave me some really good input. He gave you some really good input and good advice if this is what you want to do. And stay tuned next time for Rick's Corner when we get on another new subject and another new guest. Thanks again. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, sir.
Loosen up, buddy. Loosen up.
Got to get in the ring. You got to throw me around a little bit.
We will do that.